everyone from around the country as well as around the world. And it is Wednesday night, guys, and tonight we are hoping to be able to share the story with you, give you some insights as to where we are, what we're doing, and fill you in on some of the exciting things that are taking place behind the scenes at GoGoHub. For those of you that are brand new and this is your first night, we'd like to welcome you as well. And we'd like to give you a little bit of background on who we are and what we have been doing. The company's over 10 years old and put together by Paul Burks, a computer programmer from Lexington, North Carolina. They've had their offices there now, like I said, for more than 10 years. And 6 years ago created a mega powerhouse company called Free Store Club. Free Store Club put in more than 4 million members worldwide. In the first 2 years, more than 2 million of those 4 million came in, and that was just an amazing success story. And 3 years ago, began working on this new project, what we now know as GoGoHub, this brand new local search everything engine that is unlike anything else in the marketplace today. When you go on this particular platform, you will notice that you're able to do things that you're not able to do on Craigslist, and you're able to do things that they don't do on Google. And we've created a brand new search platform that no one else has ever seen, that doesn't work quite the way this one does. Let me give you an example. You go in and you do a search on Google and you get everything in the world, or at least that's what they attempt to deliver, the World Wide Web at your fingertips when you're performing a search. Well, we don't do that at all. What we do is we localize searches. We take a particular thing that you're searching for, and that search is localized within 5, 10, 25, 50, 100 miles of where you specify the search is to be done, or where you live. And unlike Craigslist, which is just a list, this is far more than just a list. It is a classified search platform that is completely different, guys, and we believe we are going to usher in an entirely new era of searching for things on the web and show people how to be rewarded for doing it. First, let me give you some of the startling statistics of the successes that have been taking place on the web over the past decade or so. And let's start with the small one, and that's Craigslist. I've been saying that Craigslist has somewhere in the range of 14 million unique visitors every single month. That's pretty hefty. They have more than 30 million new classified ad postings every single month, and they are a .org site. I don't know if you know much about Craigslist, but you can find their story on Wikipedia. They're in the San Francisco Bay Area, started by Craig Newmark. Craig put it together to pretty much be a local forum, sharing with people. He was new to the area when he put that site together, and he just pretty much wanted to have a way to find events, share interesting things with local folk who may have been in his situation, or gain information from people who may be knowledgeable about what's taking place in that area. He was a computer programmer. He was making money doing that. He was not looking to build Craigslist to be a platform that he'd earn money from. So he created it, and guys, it began to grow and began to grow and began to grow. Well, the site didn't actually earn any money because there were no ways for them to do that. They don't have featured ads like Google. They don't have pay-per-click like Google. They don't have any kind of upgraded business listings per se. They don't have any of the special featured or sponsored pages that we're going to have. The site was simply a place to allow people to kind of get to know what was going on by their forums in their area, and people started posting things to it. So they put it together in its most simplest form. They simply allowed a person to post a thing, and then the next person who posted a thing, they just lined them all up in a list, hence the name Craigslist. And believe it or not, from those humble beginnings, they've become one of the top 10 sites in the country, and they are doing mega business as far as traffic is concerned. And here's what's so startling. about what they have done over the past 10 years. Those guys, like I said, don't have anything to do with featured ads, pay-per-clicks, any of that. They only charge in categories that overload their server. For example, they only charge on apartment listings in New York City alone. Well, why New York City? There's so many people in New York City that people would post an apartment listing, and then they would post it again, because remember, this is a list, and then they post it again to make the top of the list. So, you know, what Craig decided to do was charge a nominal fee to offset that, stop people from posting those apartment listings so many times, which was causing server issues, and so they created a fee. They did the same thing with paid job, job listings in 9 cities across the United States. I didn't say 9 states or 9 countries across the globe. They did it with 9 cities. And guys, their income has gone from 10 million, 20, 40, 80 to somewhere in the range now of over $200 million a year doing just that. If that begins to give you a picture of the marketplace we're in, then maybe you can begin to see the kind of potential behind what's actually there. Because here's a site that, according to their own, you go to their Q&A, they don't have any interest in being a commercial site. They don't ever want to be that. As a matter of fact, on April Fool's Day, they run April Fool's jokes about selling ads. They don't plan on doing it, but they're still doing over $200 million a year and growing every single year. It's simply an amazing story. And the reason they are is because the classified ad market alone, I'm not talking about the search industry that Google is a part of. I'm only talking about the classified ad market, which Craigslist is a part of. And remember, we are combining both of these features. But the classified ad part of the marketplace is right now estimated to be at over $100 billion every year in earnings for the sites and the other classified things that are taking place around the globe. So the marketplace is huge, and it's waiting for a leader, because in my opinion, and I am not knocking Craigslist, I'm not knocking their accomplishments, but in my opinion, they are a very reluctant leader. They happen to be the leader, but that certainly wasn't their goals or intentions, and they don't have any aspirations to push the edge of that envelope. Now, if we look at the opposite end of the spectrum, and we're talking about the potential, we're talking about what's taking place in the marketplace right now. If you look at the opposite end of the spectrum, you have Google, and Google dominates the internet earth. Well, they've mapped the earth, right? They dominate the internet as far as tech companies. They are the top company as far as 25 fastest growing, and they're not just the top company, they're the top company by far. They beat probably the next 6 or 7 tech companies put together as far as their growth is concerned, and they are absolutely phenomenal and unstoppable. As a matter of fact, we read an article, or at least excerpts from an article last week, and they were saying that even though the economy, the housing industry, gas prices, food prices, and all of those things are going in the wrong direction, and even the experts were predicting that Google's profits would be down, Google's profits have continued to soar in spite of all of the incredibly terrible conditions as far as the economy is concerned. So here we can begin to see the real potential of the market, and the reason Google's able to do that is because of their search technology, obviously, but because they use every single aspect of their ad space to earn them dollars. And they are not the only ones. Every single major website on the web, from Amazon to eBay, from Google to Yahoo, and you can go on and on and on, from YouTube to MySpace to Facebook to so many others, those guys are using advertising dollars to finance their venture. What does that tell us? That tells us if Google did $19 billion last year alone in advertising revenues, if Google is the fastest of the 25 fastest growing tech companies by far, there is no competition, then it begins to show us that there's a market